Hi, welcome to Homestead Rewind. Today I'm going to show you how I make banana nut bread. Come along with me. Earlier today I made some sauerkraut, and as soon as I see that it turns out perfect to show you guys, I will be uploading that video. I explained in that video that my cabbage got away from me yet again, and also my bananas, because I had to go back home to vote. It was voting day. And after I got home, it ended up that I had to stay another night. I had some more business that I had to take care of. The vegetables that I had lined out to do that day had one more day old on them, and when I got back, my cabbage had actually started to ferment in the cooler. Along with my cabbage was my bananas, and they went over a little bit more than what I normally let them go over, but I think it's going to be just fine. I need to get those bananas preserved and put in the freezer, and the way I'm going to do that is by turning them into banana nut bread. Banana nut bread actually stores very, very well in the freezer, and Jay likes to take it for his morning snack when he goes to work. And I haven't had some for a long time because it's been way too hot out. We've got a cooler day today, and I'm going to be baking outside in my oven that's in my RV outdoor kitchen. Okay, let's get going. First of all, we need a half a stick of butter. Next, we need a cup of sugar. And I'm going to beat that together until it's well incorporated. The butter's well incorporated. You'll notice that I have my batter paddle on, because this is actually a batter that I'm making. Okay, now my butter was at room temperature, so that allowed that to really mix in well with the sugar. Now I'm adding 2 eggs. Just going to mix that up real good. Scrape the bowl. Whip it up some more. Our next ingredient is going to be sour milk. And to make this milk, I actually used, I was out of milk. We're having a hard time finding it up here right now. I'm probably going to have to travel some distance to get us a gallon of milk. So I'm using evaporated milk, and it calls for 4 tablespoons of sour milk. So what I did was put 3 tablespoons of evaporated milk in and 1 tablespoon of vinegar. I'm just going to put that in there. And 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Give that a mix. Remember to stir the sides down. Next, my recipe calls for 1 cup of mashed bananas, and I'm going to measure that in a liquid cup. You can see I got lots of bananas to make lots of bread to put away. Now I'm going to mix that up just a little bit, just to get it in all together, combined all together. I'm going to remove this paddle just for a minute. Put my sifter. This is my sifter. This is the sifter. That's how I use it. Just going to place it over the bowl. And into my sifter, I'm going to put 2 cups of flour. 1. I have a 1/2 cup measuring spoon here. 2. Now I need 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And I sprinkle it around just to kind of start mixing it up already. And 2 teaspoons of baking soda, baking powder. Hopefully I said baking soda. 1 teaspoon of baking soda and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. A 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And this is how I sift my stuff. Now, when you get to the bottom of the sifter, you'll notice these clumps. That's usually your baking soda that's clumped up. You don't want to throw that away. You want to make sure you sift that in, and that's one of the reasons why you do sift. To get those little clumps all fine so they'll mix into your batter well. Put my paddle back on. You don't want to, I almost blew flour everywhere. You want to turn it on real slow, and even sometimes you might want to even use your spatula to mix it up first a little bit before you actually use your beater. You know, that's incorporating good. I'm going to stir. You don't want to over mix this. You just want to get it incorporated and get your sides, and in this mixer you need to make sure you're getting that bottom clean too. That off. Give it one final mix. Now, I already have sprayed my tin. This makes the perfect little size of loaves for Jay to take to work, so I can freeze them individually and put them in a Ziploc bag, put them in the freezer, and he just reaches in and grabs one out. By the time it's his breakfast snack time, that's what he calls it, it's thawed out in his lunchbox, usually. Okay, so you can see I used canola oil here to spray that pan with. And you want to make sure you spray the top of it, because sometimes this does bake up over the edges and it will stick to it. Alright, let's scrape it off. Now, to get this into the pan, I like to use my 1/4 cup measuring cup, because it's small and it just, I always make a mess, but I don't make quite as big a mess. I'm just going to dollop that in there. One at a time, a heaping 1/4 cup. I love this little loaf pan. I've had it for several years now. It was a gift from one of my really good friends, and I have really used it a lot. Scrape the bowl out. You want to get all of that batter. That's several more mouthfuls there. Okay, and I'm just going to evenly distribute that leftover into the loaves. That one looks a little shy, so we'll put more in there. Okay, that makes it pretty close. Now, normally I use walnuts, preferably black walnuts, but they have gotten so high, I'm going to have to wait until I harvest walnuts. When I was down at the farm to vote, I noticed a huge walnut tree right close to where we're going to be building our tiny house, and it was full of walnuts, so I was really relieved to see I'm going to have a supply when I get home. Normally I will add the walnuts in before I will add the walnuts in and mix them in with the batter. But since I'm going to be using chopped pecans today, I like the flavor. They'll get roasted or toasted while they bake in the oven on top. I like the toasted pecan flavor with the banana flavor. Alrighty, we're going to pop that into the oven outside, my table electric oven outside. Bake it at 350 for 1 hour.
She's waiting for love to